You got sandwiches, soup,
Sure.
hot chocolate?
Yes.
You got the front. Okay, thank you. State number 8, the 2017 Fight for Good Tour, Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. Right in the heart of the city tonight for the lighting of the world's tallest kettle. And I think tonight, instead of hearing me talk, I'm going to play for you some excerpts of my interview with Grammy-nominated recording artist and the pride of Detroit, Kemp. I want to hear a little bit more, not to dig at the wounds, but about your darkest hour, because I know how much people are going through this out there today.
Yeah.
What did you feel like was that lowest point that made you wake up and say, I need to go get some help?
My lowest point, I started drinking and drugging when I was 16, 17 years old. And because of the lifestyle that I was living, my parents asked me to leave their home, and I was 19 years old. And, my parents, we lived in the suburbs. My parents, you had 2 cars in the garage, and they could have sent me to school and all of that. And but I was living a different life. I was out on the streets. I would be missing for days. I've been hospitalized because of my addiction. I was eating out of trash cans, and people, when they refer to my story, they refer to my story from the aspect of a person who's gone from rags to riches, but really my story is about the prodigal son, and my bottom was sleeping out on the Detroit River, right behind the Salvation Army, where I would end up getting sober, because I had been discharged from that facility for violating one of the cardinal rules, which was not to drink while you're in the program, and I didn't have any tools on how to stay sober, on how to live a more productive life. And I was in the Salvation Army not necessarily because I was trying to deal with my addiction. I wasn't really trying to deal with my demons. Why I went into the Salvation Army was because I needed a place to live, and I think that's a lot of our story. Sure. And as long as you abide by those rules, you can have a place to live, and it can be, that you can honor the nature of the relationship. But in order to honor the nature of my relationship with myself, it meant that I had to get sober. So on this night, July 23rd of 1990, which is also my biological birthday, I was sleeping outside trying to nurse a can of King Cobra until the next day, when I would go into the Salvation Army ARC on 4th Street and speak with their intake counselor and see if I could get back into their program. That was the last night that I took a drink. So when I reference that's also my recovery birthday. My recovery birthday and my biological birthday are on the same day. So that's July 23rd. I surrendered. I went into the Salvation Army, and they welcomed me with open arms, and gave me another chance, and really allowed me to begin the foundation to live the life that I'm living today. It's definitely one of the most transformational transcending moments of my life.
You're very proud of your heritage here in Detroit, your childhood and everything growing up. There's a lot of people that are very proud of you and everything you've done. But I want to hear it from you. What do you love about the city of Detroit?
What I love about the city of Detroit is coney dogs.
That's fair. I've heard a lot about that today.
Coney dogs.
Okay.
I love coney dogs. I love the Pistons. I love the Tigers. We love the Lions. The Red Wings.
I was going to say the Red Wings.
Right, I can't leave anybody out. When you start going down that road, it can get real crazy. Look, I love the resilience of the city. I love the fact that we have withstood all of the naysayers. Detroit has been put in a bad light for years and years and years. Even before the decline of the auto industry. it's really the fact that we're down here tonight. And when I look at my career, I look at the work that I do as being an unofficial ambassador. I'm not an official ambassador, but I take, when I step outside,
close, yeah.
when I step outside of Michigan, man, it's like I'm representing the D. Everything good about it. And there was a time when I wouldn't do interviews with anchors or journalists who I knew had bashed Detroit.
I promise I haven't.
Yeah, I know. We did the work. We did our due diligence. So I love this city. I love everything that it stands for. We've come a very, very, very long way, and I'm looking forward to a great future here.
I want to ask you, we talk so much about how the Army has changed your life, and you've talked extensively about how the Army is changing so many lives that we know about and that we don't know about.
Right.
But I'm sure a lot of people have come up to you and said, Cam, your story has helped me. Can you share with me a story of someone who's come up to you and you've been able to change their life through the work that you've done?
Oh, that is my hope. And my hope is that there are lives that have been changed that I will never know about,
Right.
through what I consider to be the ministry of my music. And it affects people in so many ways, man, so many different ways. One story that always comes to the forefront of my mind is this woman in D.C. who came, and this was early in my career. I didn't really understand the scope of what it was that we were doing, and she came to one of the shows and shared with me the fact that she was a survivor, of breast cancer, and that her therapy included my music, right?
That means everything, doesn't it?
Right. Those are the moments, or someone's toddler, is more relaxed, when my music can cool somebody's kid out, or people who are getting married. We're probably, my music is the soundtrack, of precious moments in people's lives, and that's really an honor. And you would think that they're not relatable. How does this relate to the Salvation Army? Because had it not been, for the work that I was allowed to do and the rest that I was allowed to
Yes.
get and the restoration that I was allowed to get while I was at the Salvation Army, there may not be, a Motown recording artist, Kim.
And speaking of those moments, how your music is a moment for so many people. Tonight is going to be a moment for a lot of people. Yeah. So talk about how excited you are to perform tonight at such a special event here right in the middle of the city.
Oh, it's great. It's great being downtown in the Christmas season, during the holiday season, is really a treat. And this isn't the first time that we've been down here, but every time we get an opportunity to come is really an honor. I'm excited, and my cold did not wait until it was over.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we're excited to be here. My cold was also excited to be here. We're going to go out here, and then in the words of Jamie Foxx doing Ray Charles, we're going to make it do what it do.
I got another question about your music.
Yeah.
You released the album What Christmas Means.
Yes.
And of course, we're kicking off the Christmas season here.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you directly, what does Christmas mean to you?
Christmas to me is first and foremost a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, who is my Lord and Savior, without whom I would not be sitting here having a conversation with you. But it's also a time for family. It's a time for a relationship. I believe that the holidays, this time of year, this season, I believe that there's romance in it. I like being by the fireplace and being with the people that I love. It's a time to eat real good, of course.
Coney dogs.
Coney dogs, and it's really a time of reflection, and it's an opportunity. Every day is an opportunity, but particularly during the holidays, it's an opportunity. Particularly during the holidays, during these days that we are living in right now, it's an opportunity to be grateful, for what we've been given, what we have, no matter how much we feel we don't have, how little we think we have. We really, especially in this country, man, we have more than most people do, in the world. And it's a time to share that, and to appreciate that, and reinforce the values that we hold near and dear.
Christmas is a very special day for all of us. But as you talk about, every day is an opportunity. July 23rd, 1990. I want you to look in the camera and speak directly to someone who hasn't yet seized that opportunity, who hasn't had their July 23rd, 1990. Why should they seek help?
You have to want to seek help. You have to want to do the work that's necessary to transform your life. There are a myriad of resources that are available in our communities to help people who are dealing with all kinds of issues, not limited to substance abuse. But before that work can begin, you have to recognize that the work needs to be done. Own that, take ownership of your life, take ownership of where you are right now in this moment. And when you're ready, there's an adage that I love that says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When you're ready, there are arms that are open wide waiting for you to embrace the next place that God would have you be. So if you are ready to make that move, there is hope. There is hope. In the Salvation Army, and there are a myriad of other organizations and helping hearts and minds that can help you get to where God would have you be. My prayer for you is that today you will be ready. God bless you.
I got one more question for you, if you got it in you. Of course, we're kicking off the Red Kettle season and asking for people to donate. What would happen if people stopped giving and if people did not open up their hearts this holiday season?
If people didn't open up their hearts this holiday season, the effect of people not giving means that a story like mine may not happen. The Salvation Army does work throughout the whole year, and dealing with everything from Thaw the Heat and Warmth Fund to addiction and recovery services, single parent mother, women and children, natural disasters, you name it, the Salvation Army, is doing the hard work on the ground. So, someone's basic needs might not be met if those of us who have a little something to give are not honoring that moment and making a contribution. So your help is appreciated, it's needed, and you're helping people that will never be able to, that you'll never meet, and that will never be able to thank you personally. But on behalf of those people, I thank you. I thank you for the love that I know that you're going to share through your giving this holiday season. God bless you.
Cam, thank you so much for taking the time, man.
Oh, now you got it.
I know. If you're going to catch a call from someone, got to get you from Cam.
I got Kim's call.
Really appreciate your time. Good luck tonight, my friend.